him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack-a-magab, everybody. It's time for the only news that matters. And Kerry King from Slayer announced lineup of his solo band. And it is Mark Azagueda from Death Angel is the singing, Slayer's drummer, Paul Bostoff, former Hell Yeah bassist Kyle Sanders, and ex-Machine Head and my favorite thrash band of all time, Violence guitars, Phil Demo. And they released that first song, Idle Hands, and yeah, I liked it. I see a lot of people bitching about it online. To me, my favorite Slayer is Up to Seasons. And really, my real favorite Slayer is the Metal Blade Slayer. This, to me, sounds like, World Painted Blood, which I thought was an okay album. It was like the only album I really liked after Seasons, and I thought World Painted Blood was pretty good. And this sounds like something that could have been on World Painted Blood. I have no problem with the song. And Mark sounds amazing. He does some like low singing that he doesn't do. I'm a big Death Angel fan, and I thought Mark sounded amazing on it. And some parts he sounded like Tom Araya. Some parts it sounded like Mark when, listen to the Death Angel song, Left to Die. That's the type of singing that pure Mark and pure awesomeness. So yeah, man, I think he did a smart move by getting Mark to sing for this Kerry King thing. I'll reserve judgment, obviously, when I hear the whole album, but Idle Hands, it was all right, man. I don't think it's bad. Of course, if we're going to compare to early Slayer, no. But if we're going to compare to World Painted Blood, yeah, I can see it make that album. And in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, Kerry King was asked if he's spoken to band's former original drummer, Dave Lombardo, who's been out of Slayer for more than a decade. And he responded, "No, Lombardo is dead to me." Elaborating on why he feels that way, the 59-year-old musician said, "Dave went on a tirade when we were on a flight to Australia. And he knew we couldn't retort for 14 hours. And he threw me under the bus. I was the only one keeping him in the band. Tom wanted him out before that. And Jeff Hanneman had gotten a spider bite, causing him to contact the flesh-eating bacteria, forcing him off the road. So he wasn't playing with us much. And we need Dave. The fans won't get it if we replace him right now." And then the Australia thing came up. He threw me under the bus, and I'm like, I'm the guy that kept him here, so I thought, fuck this guy. So he's dead to him. And then he ended up saying that he hasn't spoken to Tom Araya since the last Slayer show. He hasn't even gotten a text, not even an email, nothing. And it looks like Kerry King thinks Dave Lombardo is dead to him. It looks like Tom Araya thinks Kerry King is dead to him. And I want to give a shout out to Pat Posey, who has a great YouTube channel. Check him out and subscribe. He's awesome. He made a video about this, and he made a lot of sense on things that I'm repeating on here. Because, he said it. It sounds like Diet Slayer. Don't get me wrong. But, I also think World Painted Blood is kind of, Diet Slayer. Chemical Warfare. To me, that is Slayer. Cryonics, Black Magic. At Dawn They Sleep. That, to me, is my favorite Slayer. But, hey, it's Died Slayer. As Pat said, wisely. And I also got to say, this whole Phil Demmel thing. I mean, I'm a big fan of Violence. I think Violence is my favorite thrash band. I don't think it. I know it, you know. I know a lot of, you know, people like other thrash bands that I'm not too crazy about. I like them, but I don't love them like Violence. And Phil Demmel just announced that he's going to play the very last Violence show. So that just leaves Sean Killian in the band, and that's kind of depressing. That, you know, everybody's gone. Perry Strickland. It's just now Phil Demmel and Bobby Gustafson ain't no longer there. And I thought they released an awesome EP, man, for Metal Blade. Let the World Burn. I thought that EP was badass. But, you know, they weren't making money, man. And then, you know, flying Bobby Gustafson to California all the time, it was, you know, I mean, I talked to Bobby myself because he lives down here. And, you know, he told me in himself it just wasn't financially, you know, possible with how much Violence makes to keep flying Bobby over there. So they had to let him go. But then, you know, everything went haywire. Perry Strickland was gone. Now Phil Demmel's gone. Just leaving Sean Killian. Now, don't get me wrong. If it comes my way, I will go because I worship Sean Killian. I think he's awesome. But I also like the rest of that band. And it's kind of sad that it's no more. And Marcos Higuera says that he is still very much the lead singer of Death Angel, despite having been announced as the frontman of Kerry King's new band. And earlier it was revealed that King will release the debut album from his long-awaited solo project called From Hell I Rise on May 17th via Relginning Phoenix Music. Joining Kerry on the record are Paul Ballstuff. I already talked about that. Anyway, so yeah, he's still in Death Angel, which is great to know because I'm loving Death Angel's later stuff. I think they're all solid albums, and some I enjoy more than their earlier ones. So I'm glad that he's still part of Death Angel, and let's see how this Kerry King thing works out. I know he's opening some festivals and stuff, so let's see how successful this will be. Hopefully it will be, because Mark really deserves it. All right, to finish up this episode, I am now going to rank the Slayer albums. I just punched it up on Wikipedia, so there's not going to be any numbers. You write the numbers down, but I'll tell you right now, my least favorite Slayer album is definitely Diablos and Musica. I hate it. It's new metal. It's crap. And then I'll say God Hates Us All, which is a tinge better, but no. And then I'll go with, believe it or not, a lot of people love this album, but not me, man. Not that much. Divine Intervention. I'm going to have to put that. And, you know, the Punk album, Undisputed Attitude. Does that even count? But, yeah, Divine Intervention. Then I'll say Christ Illusion, which was the return of Dave Lombardo. And it does have some good stuff on there. So now we're getting into the good albums. Then their last one, Repentless, which was okay. I liked, what was it, Atrocity Vendor, I think it was called. Some okay songs on there, so I do enjoy it. And then I'm going to go with World Painted Blood, which to me is the best of the later stuff, as I was talking about earlier. All right? And now we're going to my favorites, which is the early stuff. And I'm going to say Seasons in the Abyss would be the next one. I love it. A lot of people kind of turn their back on Slayer. I mean, a lot of my friends, like, oh, you know, they're not like what they used to be because, you know, they're just really into Rain and Blood. But South of Heaven, which I picked next, South of Heaven, which was drastically different than, you know, everything before it. I mean, well, I shouldn't say drastically different, but drastically different how they started the album, so slow. And, you know, they did a lot of the slow moments. But Slayer fans at that time were so fanatical with Rain and Blood and the Metal Blade stuff that they kind of overlooked it a little. That's why by the time Seasons came out, they were like, oh, we're not giving this no chance. Because, you know, subliminally they were, subconsciously, they didn't like South of Heaven. But I'm going to go with South of Heaven as the next one. Then, the next one I'm going to pick, look, man, it is their best album. But this is how I feel. Some things are the best, but they're not my favorite. And that's how I would say Slayer, Rain and Blood. The one that, you know, a lot of people think is their best album. And it is. But it's not my favorite. There's a difference, okay? But yeah, Rain and Blood is their best album. And yeah, believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that want to be that guy running around saying, well, I like Slayer, but Rain and Blood's overrated. Yeah, whatever. All right, and then, between Hell Awaits and Show No Mercy, damn, you know what? I'm going to go with, this hurts, but I'll say Show No Mercy. Hell Awaits is my favorite. But Show No Mercy, man. Evil Has No Boundaries. My favorite song, Cryonics, is on there. Black Magic, Die by the Sword, Antichrist, Fight Till Death. My God. Tormentor. Yes. But Hell Awaits, I like more. Oh my God, At Dawn They Sleep. You know, before Show No Mercy was my favorite, but nah, man. Hell Awaits, Kill Again, Hardening of the Arteries, Praise of Death, Necrophiliac. Jesus, what an awesome Crypt of Eternity. The whole thing rules. But you know what? I still would put even above Hell Awaits, I'll put Haunting the Chapel, which is my favorite Slayer release because it has the bridge of Show No Mercy and Hell Awaits. That's really my favorite, with Chemical Warfare, my second favorite Slayer song. What is your ranking of Slayer? Leave it in the comments below and what you feel about Kerry King and his new band. And how do you like this new song, Idle Hands? Let us know in the comments below. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't and ring that little notification bell. I would love that. Oh, and like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.